Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. The Jets are going into week 6. I can't believe it's week 6 already versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And at this point, the Jets have played the Kansas City Chiefs, the Dallas Cowboys, who I guess didn't age well, and neither did the Patriots. But the Bills aged the other way. Like, what a crazy schedule. We all knew, we all been talking about it for months, and it finally comes to a head here. The Jets have 2 wins. We're 2-3. Aaron Rodgers going down on the 4th play and subbing it back in Zach Wilson, acting as if last year just scrolled right back into this year. And Greg, 2 wins and 2 Achilles injuries to my favorite players. Again, that is the most insane luck. That's the only thing I can call it. It has to just be luck. This is insane, Greg.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Both New York teams not in the playoffs. Rangers first round pick looks like he sucks from 2 years ago. Complete bust. Right? We'll see with the Rangers. We'll see how they do this year. The Devils are all right. I'm not supposed to like them. Like they're okay. We'll see about Jack Hughes. The Giants absolutely suck. All I have right now is the Jets and the Knicks. And then I said the Knicks on the other side of that. And then the Jets here, every time my favorite players, every time we win a game, we lose an Achilles. Not like a strain, a leg, not an ankle sprain, an Achilles. Like,
it's crazy,
man. Aaron Rodgers goes down, we win. Elijah Vera Tucker, unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be out for this season. Aaron Rodgers gains another buddy in the rehab center out in California. Vera Tucker's from California. But, dude, I cannot believe that another Denver game for Elijah Vera Tucker and another season-ending injury. That's insane.
And both are kind of like, we didn't think it would be that serious coming out of the game, and then midweek or early in the week, all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, it's season-ending? It's a season-ending tricep? Like, what do you mean? Like, he hurt his arm. And same thing with the leg. Like he played another down. Like he walked off the field. Like, what do you mean it's his Achilles? Like, what's going on? And it's tough because AVT is a fan favorite. He's incredible. Has played any position we've asked him to, and he's done tremendously well. We need him. Like, we need him on that right tackle position. Now we're going to be kind of flummoxed to try to figure out, what are we doing? Is it someone internally? I know we worked out Lyle Collins, who's coming back from his own ACL injury. So maybe it's finding someone on the market that we can, plug in at that right tackle position. But John, you've talked about it for the last few weeks now. Getting that offensive line to play together week in and week out, seeing them improve week in and week out has helped Zach Wilson, has helped Breece Hall, has helped this team week in and week out. And now a major piece. Yeah, now a major piece is gone for the season. It's tough. It's another crushing blow.
Dude, on an Achilles, man. Like, it's really becoming a nightmare. I'm glad we got the win. We do have 2 wins. We are 2-3.
Yeah.
You did say Lyle Collins, is working out. It just, to be honest with you, it just never works out for the Jets with these free agent acquisitions, especially mid-season. It just never has ever worked out. So I'm just not going to ever get excited, about Lyle Collins coming out at right tackle. What the Jets do excel at is getting Max Mitchell in there at right tackle and coming through. Yes, he didn't play amazing the first play he was in there cold, at right tackle. Sure, in the pass protection. I mean, I agree. But he looked really good when he did get starting time last year, and he only left for blood clots. He didn't have a real injury, right? It wasn't like any ligament.
It was very serious, but it wasn't like football really related.
So I think he can get back on track. Let me ask you this. I'll give you my feelings right away. I can't shy away from them. If they move Becton to right tackle and put Dwayne Brown back at left tackle off IR, that is absolute malpractice.
Yes.
Like, if I'm Becton, I'm not re-signing with the Jets.
Yep.
Okay, you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, he's playing left tackle. He's playing left tackle well. And
It's a contract year, bro. Don't
no one
like
else.
it's practice, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. At this point, you have to let him stay at left tackle and let him keep playing well. I mean, we need him. We need this offensive line to have some consistency to keep moving these pieces around. To me, doesn't make any sense. We don't know
Yeah,
what
and
Dwayne Brown hasn't played well in, I don't know, a
3
year.
years.
Yeah,
Uh,
years.
I know. And listen, if he comes back off IR and he still desperately really wants to play for the Jets at left tackle, which I'm doubting why he wouldn't just retire and take his money anyway if he's going to retire after this year regardless.
Yeah,
But let him just stay as the backup left tackle.
yeah,
Collect your money. If Becton goes down in an unfortunate circumstance because we are the New York Jets, probably with an Achilles,
mhm,
and God forbid, and then we'll have Dwayne Brown plug in. But this is Becton's contract year. You got to give him a chance to make his money. He's playing well at left tackle. And who knows? Maybe he'll be our left tackle next year. Maybe we'll resign him and still get somebody else, a rookie in here to back him up. And speaking of
sure.
rookies, we do have Carter Warren, right? The kid from Pitt. Everyone's telling me he's really raw. Okay. I would rather plug him in at right tackle. Like, I'd rather give Max Mitchell the chance at right tackle. If it doesn't
Yep.
work out, Billy Turner, if you want to give it a shot, like let's see what's up. If not, like let's get Carter Warren in here. If not, you're talking about Greg. We have the trade deadline coming up in a couple weeks here,
Yeah.
right? It's week 6, bye week, trade deadline. If you do find the right tackle in a trade, and maybe someone wants to get rid of McCole Hardman, or you want to do one of those, late swaps, right? Like we'll add a 7th because we hate 7ths. You give us back a 6, something like that for a right tackle. I'm cool with it. But to be honest with you, there's no changes coming through that door, man. Like there's nobody. Like even if Lyle Collins comes through, it's not what you think. Like you're not getting like a big boy ready to go. We're gonna learn our protection, learn the scheme, and be good to go with Zach Wilson and a brand new O line anytime soon. Even if we get him now, he's not gonna be good to go until I don't know week 10. Like
Yeah.
in a month.
Yeah. It's the same conversation we had when Aaron Rodgers went down and Zach Wilson steps up. It's like, oh, let's go sign a veteran. And it's like, well, all the veterans are already backing up other teams. So if you want someone that can start and can play in the league, you got to trade for them. To your point at the time, we were talking about not giving up trade capital. I don't think I don't think I really want to give up trade capital for a right tackle. To your point, if it's a late round swap, okay. But then again, the people that are available on the market to sign, there's a reason why they're available and on the market to sign. Like, what are they going to do? So, to your point, it's a multi-week ramp up to get in shape and to learn the playbook and to learn what you need to do. I think ride out with our guys. Our guys have been here since OTAs in the off season, and
It just sucks, bro, because our guy is AVT, man. Why can't he just
yeah.
stay healthy, bro? He's banned from Denver.
What do
He's
you make?
banned.
I want to dive in a little deeper on this offensive line stuff. What do you think about Billy Turner, who's a name that got floated around a few different times in the offseason? A good signing, a veteran signing, a good backup guy. Rodgers talked him up a little bit. Hackett talked him up a little bit. Um, Showing up on the injury report as a limited participant today with a toe injury. Like right as soon as we need him, he's showing up on the injury report. Like
It's just limited.
I know, but that stuff drives me crazy. I don't know if that moves the needle at all for you at all, but it's like, dude, we need you now, and now you're gonna go on the injury report. Like, what are we doing here?
No, I'm not reading too much into that. If you're talking injury report, I'm reading more into Justin Hardy being out with a hamstring.
Yeah,
Hamstring scares the hell out of me. That word in Achilles, and then any of the 3 letters for the knees, like ACL, MCL, like any of those letters, like those are
true.
the 3 scariest, injuries for me. And of course, we'll throw on concussion on top of that. But DJ Reed seems to be limited this week, so he's gonna get off concussion protocol. So I'm glad that's gonna happen. Eccles didn't practice hamstring. Hardy didn't practice hamstring. On the other side, Darius Slay didn't practice with a knee.
Yeah,
So maybe like a kind of a wash there, but dude, we need our guys versus Jalen Hurts. I know we kind of jumped the gun a little bit here, but we need our guys versus Jalen Hurts. They're gonna run. They have our kryptonite. They like if you could draw up a team to beat the Jets, it's literally the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Their offensive
Which,
line is stout versus our best component on our entire team, which is our D line. So if they ultimately neutralize our D line, we're screwed. Our secondary gets exposed, especially with the injuries we got. Their tight ends are fantastic with Goddard and their backups. I'm definitely taking a backup tight end anytime touchdown. Yeah, I have to. I really do.
yeah,
But like Boston Scott also, or like Kenneth Gainwell. They have so many gadget running backs beyond DeAndre Swift that are just going to catch out of the backfield on us. I've seen this story. Jalen Hurts is going to run on us. I'm really nervous about this game. The Jets, I've said it 1,000 times, are 0-12 versus Philadelphia Eagles. They've never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. It sucks that AVT's out. But to spin it into a positive note, like this is where we thought we'd be. Like losing to the Chiefs, Eagles, like the only thing you can cry about is being the only Patriots win for them, like on their record. That's the only loss I could really cry about. Otherwise, we beat the Bills, and then we lost to the Cowboys. We got smacked by the Cowboys, right? And they're a whole different team now. All injuries, they're the only team that can compare with us. With the injury stuff, it's hard because it's not Aaron Rodgers is starting quarterback, but otherwise they're being decimated with injuries week to week, and honestly the Patriots too, right?
yeah.
That's
Losing
gonna be
Gonzalez and Mr. Red Sleeves in 1 week, that's a blow for sure.
so everyone is having their injuries. It's all about sustaining through. It's not fun that we have to verse the Philadelphia Eagles as your first test, but I think the Jets. There's something to be said about playing with some house money here. The Philadelphia Eagles are undefeated, not just versus the Jets, but versus the entire league.
Yep.
And then, sometimes you'll see that seems to wear out, on certain teams like this. The Jets are playing with house money. There's no shame to losing, and the Eagles going 6-0. There's literally no shame. Even if we lose by 50, it would suck. It would be embarrassing. People would be yelling for 2 weeks because it's the bye week. We have to sit with this loss for 2 weeks if that were to happen. So it wouldn't be fun. But the Jets are playing with house money right now. They're going into the bye week. We're going to run the ball. Breece Hall. We're gonna play defense. Like the Philadelphia Eagles their defense hasn't been that great, if I'm being honest with you.
So let's talk about it real quick because I was pulling up the numbers here. Rushing defense is pretty good. So they've only allowed 300 yards rushing. Part of it is kind of who they've played. Part of it also is the defense is good. Their front seven's pretty stout. Jalen Carter, rookie, fell in the draft to them. I still can't believe that he fell so far. He's been phenomenal this season, has, a pretty good shot at winning rookie, defensive rookie of the year. So that's definitely a match. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how susceptible we are to a good pressure and a good defensive line. Like we saw how poorly we were prepared for the Dallas game.
Yeah.
Seems like the last 2 weeks we've kind of figured that out a little bit more. So this is a big test for us. Passing defense, on the other hand, you talked about Slay being on the injury report. They've been injured at defensive back, and they're one of the bottom third defenses in terms of passing yards and passing touchdowns. So they have seemed to be susceptible to the pass this season. My biggest storyline on the Eagles so far, besides them being undefeated, definitely being one of the best teams in the league, is how they're just not putting away teams like the San Francisco 49ers are. And it seems like they're always kind of in a game here in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. And then they step away a little bit, towards the end because they just wear on you with that rushing attack and that defense, just that bend don't break defense. And, by the fourth quarter, if you're still kicking field goals and they're scoring 1 yard rushing touchdowns with the tush push, that's just, you can't win like that. So, I think the Jets are going to hang. I think the spread is, 6 or 7 points. Like, I think the Jets are going to be in this game. I think the Jets are going to hang. A couple things go our way here or there. We get one stop on a 2-yard run, or we get a freak play and a turnover. I think something crazy could happen and we could win this game. We're at home. Like you said, 0-12 lifetime. I mean, we got to win eventually, right?
I mean, it would be a good time. It's
going into the bye week. You talk about teams getting up a little bit more going into the bye week.
3-3 beating the Eagles going into the bye week is a complete game changer for this entire team and the entire outlook of the entire season.
If we're 3-3 going to the bye week, it's season's back on. Like, because we get to your point again, we played the Bills, we played the Chiefs, and we played the Eagles.
Like the
And
Jets
we
right
beat
now are
2 out of those 3 teams, by the way.
Greg, Mr. Winning Picks Weekly. What do you think the if I put $100 down right now, how much money do you think I would get back if I bet on the Jets to make the playoffs right now, October
To make
11th?
the playoffs, I would guess is like plus 800.
610. I make $610. It's
Okay.
pretty nice right now. I feel like the Jets have a legitimate chance, especially if we make this a game, even if we lose. But listen, I'm not Mr. Delusional. I'm not gonna say the Jets are have a great chance of winning this game. I'm just saying an undefeated team are susceptible to losses, man.
It's a great spot.
It's a tough spot for them. Everyone's coming at their heads. They're not the San Francisco 49ers. If this is San Francisco, I'm like, dude, like, let's just make this a game. Let's just stay around. Let's almost like a joint practice. Let's let's just work on ourselves. Let's not worry about what's going on.
Everyone just stay healthy. Just come out of this game healthy. No one get hurt.
That's
Keep
how
it
I feel about
within
the
2 or 3
49ers.
touchdowns, and let's just get ready for next week.
Let's not be embarrassed. Like that's
Yeah, you
really
see, Kittle was talking about how this last week against Dallas or whatever, he had 3 touchdowns and like a zillion yards. He's like, yeah, I didn't even get tackled. Like I'm ready to go again. Like right now, like I'm refreshed.
They got some beef out. Kittle versus Parsons with the F Dallas T-shirt. And Parsons, the only thing that bothered me was Parsons saying he didn't care about the 3 touchdowns on 4 catches. He just cared about the T-shirt. Like, dude, why do you care more about the touchdowns and less about the T-shirt? Like, I don't, like any Joe Schmo can wear a T-shirt. Like, who cares? Like,
like he was going for like that famous Randy Moss stat line where it was like 3 wherever he had, that graphic where it's like Randy Moss and it's like him, like he was like doing something to the camera. It's like 3 catches, 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like Kittle was going for that. Kittle was going for that this past week. And yeah, scoreboard doesn't matter when you lose by 40, but when you win by 40, it's pounding your chest. We're the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried about the Philadelphia Eagles like I am about the San Francisco 49ers. However, again, Jets never beat them.
Yep.
Jets in a good spot at home. I do think there's going to be a lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans, though. Is there going to be a Phillies game? I really hope the Phillies win and there's a Phillies game on Sunday. That would really help us. If there's a Phillies game at the same time, there'd be a lot less Eagles fans at the stadium. So if you're listening to this,
it might not be. Yeah, it might be over. I mean, if they win tonight, they're up 2-1. They just need to get 3 wins. So the next game would probably be Friday, if I had to guess.
That next series wouldn't start because they take like a year off, right, in between series.
Yeah, you have to wait for the other series to end. I mean, I guess it depends. Dodgers might get swept, so the other series might be over.
Game 5 would be Saturday. Never mind. All right.
Yeah.
So the Eagles fans are going to be all over JETLIFE. It's going to be loud. I might have to be there. If we beat the Eagles for the first time in our franchise history, I need to be at JETLIFE.
That would be pretty cool.
And there's a Knicks joint practice at Madison Square Garden at 1:00. Not joint. That's just it's just open practice. Yeah, with like the alumni and stuff. They're gonna be chilling there. So I was thinking about stopping by there and then going to the game, but we'll see. Maybe we'll see. Tough decisions on Sunday. It's officially the fall. I know you're upstate. It's been fall for you, but it's officially the fall down here.
Oh yeah.
WNBA finals with the New York Liberty. Hockey's back. NBA's back. Go to Winning Picks Weekly. Hear about our parlays. I've been putting in the $1 parlays for all the divisions. I'm so back on NCAA, NFL, NBA, all divisions, NHL, all scrambled all together. So I have something to watch every time I look at the scoreboard. Like I know what teams I need to win, and every game's affected if you just take a couple division bets.
I know. I love the sweat when it gets to the postseason. Like I need the Astros to win the World Series, but then I also need like the Chiefs and the Jets to win. It's like, why didn't I put an NFC team in there? Why did I put 2 AFC teams in there?
Yeah, so go to Winning Picks Weekly for that. We'll have again the full college slate with Chip Murphy 7. We have Danny Small on for an episode. Then we have the NFL full slate coming up as well. That's tomorrow. But as for the Jets, Greg, it's Breece Hall. It's the 3 tight end sets. It's getting Garrett Wilson the ball. It's Al Mazard coming through. It's the offensive line sticking together. Zach Wilson not turning over the ball. He's been fine. The turnover, we got it back last week. He turned over the ball. We got it back. On the opposite side of the ball, we got to do something against this offensive line. We can't let them bully us. Quincy Williams got to keep it up. I watched some great CJ Mosley tape today. So Greg, he's been playing really well especially in the run game. He's killing it in the run game, which we need. He's killing the DJ Reed's going to be back. Our secondary is going to look different. Our special teams has been immaculate. Shout out to Greg the Leg, dude. I love you. I love you.
I feel the same way about Tommy Morstead, dude. 2 safeties in 2 weeks. You know who sets that up? The punter. Dropping it in there on the 5-yard line. Oh, I mean, when's the last time we've had something like this? It's incredible. Like,
and that's what happens when you have Bryce Huff and Jermaine Johnson too. You know, on those edges. And dude, let me
you can actually convert when you punt someone inside the 5. You're like, oh, we have a shot at this. Like, there's been seasons after seasons where even if we get someone stuck inside the 5-yard line, I'm like, well, they're just gonna run the ball for 3 yards and get out of it. It's not that case this season.
13.
Yeah. True.
But I guess the last note here for me before we get into our prediction for the score is this man Bryce Huff. If you let him go, Greg, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna have an issue with the team. If you let Bryce Huff go for even a second round pick, I'm gonna have an issue with this team. I honestly am, because if we put a tender on him and he gets signed, like we better re-sign Bryce Huff or get something ridiculous back. Like if we're talking Devontae Adams, like or something crazy, and they really want Bryce Huff, we'll talk. But other than that, if it's not for a superstar, we better keep Bryce Huff. And at this point, I don't think it's a negotiation. We keep talking about the embarrassment of riches we have at defensive line, but then you take a microscope to it.
Sure.
I was gonna say magnifying glass to it by next season. By next season, and it's really there's nothing there. Will McDonald, we don't know. Carl Lawson, done. Jermaine Johnson, great, but that's just one person, and he has his off days, and that's it for the edge rushers.
JFM's gone after the season.
No, but he's more interior. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about like solid edge. Like
you're talking about the speed guys on the outside. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people online, a lot of people are talking about Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman comments, Mecole Hardman going up against the trade deadline, all this stuff, which, we could talk about that if we want. I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it was a 1-year deal for a couple $1 million. It's not working out. If we trade him for anything, I think it's a win. If we don't trade him, I don't think it's the biggest thing in the world. Luckily, we haven't had any injuries at wide receiver yet, but as soon as there's one injury, boom, he's right in, ready to go. So, that's my 2 cents on that. What I'm more interested in,
I'm not upset about Hardman. I'm not upset about this because Gibson is good. One of the most expensive, undrafted free agents that we brought in, and he ended up being really good. And that's fine. That's amazing.
And
that's great.
He's good, but also Randall Cobb, who's injury prone at the end of his career, is healthy. Alan Lazard, who's injury prone, is healthy. Like everyone's just healthy right now. Like as soon as Cobb gets hurt, boom, you have a role, Mecole Hardman. As soon as Lazard has to miss like half a game for something, boom, you have a role for half a game. Like there's opportunities for you to take advantage of at that point. It just hasn't happened yet. We're 5 weeks into the season,
and he's on a 1-year deal. Right?
Yeah,
he came in with Aaron Rodgers. We understood, but at this point, we are like we have one eye on next season. Like there is like the management has one eye on next season. Like we need Cobb to be good for next year. Right, so like, if Aaron Rodgers come back, Cobb's coming back. If Lazard's on contract, he has to be healthy. Garrett Wilson is coming back. Hopefully, he is number 5. Sorry, Morstead, but I want G5 Wilson. That's gonna be fire. And maybe we get 17 in here with some. I'm not gonna start spreading rumors and being all excited. I'm just saying it's possible. We're it's even possible that we play the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field next year. If the Jets and the Packers are right now, it's looking like we're going to be in the same place, so we'll see.
True. What about one more? We'll see though. Where do you see, or what do you see happening with Carl Lawson? Because to me, he's like the odd man out. Like, are we going to make a trade at the trade deadline? Try to get him for give him to some team as an expiring contract for like a 4th round pick or 5th round pick?
So NFL doesn't work like that, like the NBA.
The NBA, yeah.
Where like Evan Fournier, You know, if you're following with the Knicks, he had a horrible contract. Now it's the last year of his deal. Now it's actually a great contract because now you can you have to match contracts.
Yep.
So, but you can kind of trick the system. It's only this year. So if I'm making 17 million for the next 4 years on somebody and I want to get rid of him theoretically, I could trade him for Evan Fournier straight up. So
Yep.
7, and then you get that 17 mil off the books for the next 3 years. Just
Yep.
a quick, but in the NFL it's different. Like if the Jets trade for Kirk Cousins, we're only on the books for whatever is left of the 10 million base salary, and that's divided into game checks. So that's the only thing that we'd be on the hook for. You know what I
Okay.
mean? If we got Kirk, no other deal. So, you asked about Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson's not going anywhere. He's just going to stay inactive. I know if somebody gets injured, he'll be always active. Otherwise, he's just gonna be him and Will McDonald are gonna kind of be in and out for who's going to be active or inactive. You're going to either get
Yeah.
the rookie or the veteran with the injuries. Like that's just like
So
the opposite side of the spectrum for the Jets making decisions on the D line because we're dressing traditionally more D linemen than everybody else.
Yeah, it's interesting because we kind of started this whole conversation we're talking about with Bryce Huff, and we have to keep Bryce Huff. And I think the logical replacement is to replace Carl Lawson with Bryce Huff. Right? They're both
Well, that's what it
kind of
is. He's already
that's
been replaced by him.
right, right, exactly. He already has. So now the money works out where we can pay Bryce Huff because Carl Lawson's, whatever his bigger contract is, will be no more after this season. The real question is what that is, does he want to stay in his role as like a third down specialist, or does he want to go somewhere? Because if you look at like PFF had the graphic and it made its way around Twitter about like the most like QB pressures this season, and Huff made the list. He's like top 8 or whatever it is in the NFL. But what they don't tell you, and so it played out on Twitter, is the snap count. Like he has half the snaps as most of the
Yeah,
guys on the
that's always
list,
how
but
it
yet,
is.
right. So if I'm him, I'm like, well, I can make 17 million here on the Jets, but I could also go somewhere and play twice as many snaps and try to make 30 million a year
Yeah, I
because
mean,
he could be one of the top pass rushers in the league if he can play like that every down.
that's why you better not let him go. Figure it out. You better
Yeah,
you better keep him. I don't know what to do, but you better keep Huff. He's very important. He's gonna be very important in this game as well, right? Versus the Eagles team. And there is a path
absolutely.
to win. There is a path to win, man. We covered their huge wide receivers in Smith and AJ Brown. You know, Goddard and the tight ends, they get like somewhat covered. Smith, Scott and Gainwell, the running backs out of the backfield get somewhat covered. We handle Swift because we're good run defense. Don't turn over the ball, hit our field goals. We can win this game. It's going to be scrappy.
Have to win the turnover battle.
Exactly. Just don't turn it over. And
Uh,
if we win a couple, that's the only way we can
you
turn it around.
you
You're
have
right.
to force them to turn it over. It hasn't been that easy against this Philadelphia team. I mean, Jalen's amazing. The rushing attack's been pretty good. So you're gonna have to create it somewhere somehow. I'm not sure what it is, but
You're right. Give me a
it's gonna be
score.
interesting. 24-20.
Who wins?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to say because in my head it's the Eagles, in my heart it's the Jets. So like, in all honesty, it should be the Eagles. The Eagles should win. But if there was ever a time to do it and to beat and upset this team, like we've said, like you said throughout this episode, like I've said, it's now, man. It's coming off a big win, coming home, playing at home, 5-0 team. They haven't been putting people away. They're going into a bye week. Now is the time to do it. If we're going to capitalize, let's capitalize. I'm not saying the season's over if we lose, but to your point, it's like we're playing with house money. So if we can get up right now, get to 3-3, we're in the driver's seat the rest of the season. So Jets win 24-20. Season's back on, ready to roll, ready to get going. Zach Wilson's the guy the rest of the year. Cut all the nonsense out about Aaron Rodgers coming back this season. He's not.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
He's not. I see too many people online talking about it. It's driving me nuts. He's not coming back this season. Zach Wilson's season. and he's gonna do amazing, amazing things that'll blow your mind by the end of the season. But right now, it's just beating the Eagles.
All right. I'll address Aaron Rodgers at the end here. But for the score, I'm gonna go with. I would like to be wrong. I'm gonna go with the Philadelphia Eagles win. I would like to be wrong. I'm gonna go with 26-17.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think that would be the actual score of this game. But I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope the Jets win 31-20. Again, that was an amazing game. Oh, I never felt better watching that Denver Broncos game. But when you talk to me about Aaron Rodgers not coming back, if he wants to come back, Greg, in the AC Championship game because we're going to Kansas City, he's more than welcome to come back. I will not say no. He can come back. I don't care what he does. He could throw 4 picks. I don't give a damn. I won't. He could. Zach Wilson can get us to the AFC Championship, and Aaron Rodgers can come in through 4 interceptions. And I'd be like, yo, no problem, Aaron. I'll see you next year, bro. Like, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on it. I really hope that Aaron Rodgers. There's nothing I'm praying for more than the Jets and the Green Bay Packers finishing the same place in the division. There's nothing I'm hoping for. Also, if the Chiefs do too, we'd also play them, but that's unrealistic because they're going to be first, and the Jets and the Packers likely are not. But
Yep.
if that does happen, we'd Mahomes would come back to MetLife. So we do the 4th try for Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, let's just save it for the playoffs. Let's just save it for the playoffs.
Save it for the playoffs. It's gonna be in Kansas City too. It's gonna be really red.
That's fine.
All right. Next comment, Jets comment, ETC period. YouTube, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. Hit us up. Winning Picks Weekly. On the YouTube. Every Wednesday, Thursday, we come out with episodes for NFL and football. See you tomorrow on that. Let's go Jets. Let us know what you got for the score. Let us know if you're going to be at the game. Let us know what your outlook is coming after the bye week. Is this going to really affect it? Like if the Jets win, are you on top of the moon? I think yes. If the Jets lose it, more importantly, are you like, oh, the season's over? We're 2-4, or you're like, all right, dude. Like I see who we played and who's coming up. Giants, Chargers Monday night at home, Vegas Sunday night on the road, and then we have 2 division games, Dolphins Bills. There's a path, Greg. There is a path. There's a huge path. I don't want to talk about the path is. There's a path.
Yeah,
right? That's all I'm saying. There is a path, and you can take that right now on your favorite sports book. You can hit. You can go. You know what the path I'm talking about. You can get the path.
Yep. Yeah, plus 610.
No, even better than that.
Oh,
even better than that. So there's a path. All right. See you guys on Sunday. Post game reaction. Maybe a little late if I'm at the game because it's impossible to get out of the parking lot. Other than that, let us know what you got. Speaking of, Greg, last note, season ticket notes. The Jets fans got the season ticket letter. That's time to pay for next season. You could either pay in full by November or pay the 6-month installments. As a Knicks season ticket holder, I don't think that's a big deal. I actually think it's better because once the playoffs come, if they do ever come for the Jets, we know about the drought in the 4 major sports. But for the Knicks, I had to pay the next installments and the playoff tickets at the same exact time in May. That sucked. So this year they did start early as well. So I'm going to be done with payments by January. And that's going to be nice from January to May, not paying the Knicks. So that's going to be fun. I feel like that's what the Jets are doing as well. Do you have a problem with this? I know people have been freaking out really quick here before we get out of here.
Dude, it's so tough to ask a fan base to pay for next season tickets while they're paying for this season's tickets. They're paying for concessions. They're paying for tailgating. They're paying for parking. They're paying to get to the game. They're paying for all this stuff. And now on top of that, they have to pay for next season's tickets as well. It's a lot. To your point, I get it. It kind of gets you on a little bit of a better schedule, so you're not getting hit with next season tickets and playoff tickets. God willing, we get to some playoff tickets for the Jets.
But playoff home game is pretty unrealistic. As a division, you have to win the division. Or win the wild card and hope a division team loses, but you have to be a high wild card team, which is also pretty unrealistic for this year's Jets.
At this point, yeah, it is. But maybe it's indicative of things to come. Who knows?
All right. Pray for Zach Wilson. We got Jalen Carter on the other side of him next week.
Yeah.
With a brand new O line. We'll see what happens, man. Let's go Jets. JETS, 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 Jets. We out.